The Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Can I just take up the challenge of that former member who's just sat down when he said that we don't want to talk about jobs? Because, Mr Speaker, I do want to talk about jobs because jobs matter, and businesses create jobs, and businesses need policy settings that encourage jobs and encourage growth. Policy settings around jobs, policy settings that they say no to. That's right. Why do they say no to it? Why is it that their policies over there on that side of the House are not about creating jobs or helping jobs or enhancing job growth? What they are about is cutting and reducing jobs. Last week, Mr Speaker, we celebrated Suffrage Day. Great day, it's a great day in the New Zealand calendar. We celebrated Suffrage Day. And what was the very first action that the Labour Party did on that day? It was they introduced a bill, a first reading bill, which would have immediately cut the jobs, 3,350 jobs of women in New Zealand. Cut jobs of 3,350 women in New Zealand. That's how much they think about jobs, and that's how much they think about women. Because by raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour in an unrealistic and unsustainable manner, that would have reduced jobs and cut jobs by 5,500. And why do they say no? Why do they say no to any job-enhancing policy that we put up? They just say no. Mr Clark does not understand. His first big job in this Parliament was to introduce a bill which would have lost 3,350 jobs to women, symbolically on Suffrage Day. That is the shame of that member, and that is the legacy of that member. Suffrage Day, 3,350 jobs lost. Just like that, stroke of a pen. Mr Speaker, we have a 90-day trial, which research has shown is responsible for the creation of 13,000 jobs. 13,000 jobs, and that was only when it related to small and medium-sized enterprises, i.e. businesses under 20 people. 13,000 jobs. Since then it has been expanded to all businesses, and imagine how many jobs that will be responsible for. And what do they say? They say no. They say no to a 90-day trial. It's part of their policy to repeal it. 13,000 jobs just like that. All gone, and they say no, and they talk about jobs. Mr Speaker, my colleague, Minister Tolley, spoke about prisoners helping the rebuild of Christchurch. Well, Mr Speaker, the 90-day trial is an ideal tool for businesses to have the confidence to actually employ those prisoners to help in that rebuild. What will the Labour Party do? They will say no. Mr Speaker, that 90-day trial is encouraging businesses to take on more staff. It has been used by many businesses. It has shown that the majority of employers keep their staff once the trial is over. And so that the people who are on the fringes, they might be young, they might be older, they might be women, but David Clark doesn't like them, or they might be prisoners, and they're given the opportunity to get their foot on the employment ladder and get a job. A fantastic policy that, embarrassingly, Labour will repeal. A policy that is working really well in these tough economic times, and Labour will repeal it because they want to say no to all job policy enhancing policies. And I think it's a shame. And they sit there smugly thinking that they've got the answers. All they want to do is say no. They stop things. They would have had the Hobbit go overseas. The Hobbit haters, they would have had the Hobbit go overseas. Since then we've had Avatar over here. 1,500 new jobs, looking at a new sequel. Isn't that fantastic for our movie market? More jobs, what do they say? They say no. Mr Speaker, we have some great policy settings for creating jobs, for encouraging businesses to actually expand, because successful businesses, by expanding, will take on more staff. That means more jobs, and that must be good for our economy. Mr Speaker, we are about creating jobs. They have policies that say no.
David Clendon.
I want to talk about a group of New Zealanders that have already been mentioned this afternoon by none other than our Corrections Minister Tolley. This is a group of people who have variously been called the forgotten victims of crime, the